So Smite came out a few days ago on the 24th. It hit the eShop, and I actually get quite a few questions about this game. Specifically, what is it? And unfortunately, all I can really say is, well, I don't know. I'm not really into the MOBA-style games. Think of like the Dotas and the League of Legends and the Smites of the world. The MOBA games, of course, being the multiplayer online battle arena games. And it's just never been something I've been into. However, I do know someone who is, and that's Evan. He actually is really into the different MOBA games, and he would actually be able to tell us all about this one. So Hi-Rez reached out to us and wanted to sponsor a video where we can kind of talk about it and explain what the game is. That way, you guys can figure out if this is something that you want to buy into. So yes, thank you to Hi-Rez for sponsoring the video. Now currently Smite has a Founders Pack on the eShop, and it does list what comes with it, and it seems to be pretty much everything. And Evan's going to explain a bit more about that, right Evan?
Smite, a third-person MOBA, or multiplayer online battle arena, popped up on PC in 2014. It's not the first to take on the MOBA genre, but it is one of the few that's lasted with a thriving and growing community, both competitively and casually. It's even managed to maintain a yearly tournament with well-known gaming houses. It's not that bad. On a baseline level, a game of Smite has you pick a god to fill a role on a team. You then fight alongside your teammates against an enemy group to see who is better.
Ruin will not come to this land.
The gods represented here come from many mythological backgrounds, and if that tickles the lore lover in you, you don't just get the bog standards. There are some interesting characters in here with skill sets to match. For instance, John, would you be down with playing a Norse god?
See, I can get into some Norse gods. How about we do, let's do Loki. Nope. We'll do Thor. Let's do Thor.
Do you think you could rock the Norse squirrel god?
Squirrel god?
Yeah, why the hell not? Are you not familiar with Ratatoskr? He hangs out on Yggdrasil, chewing away at its bark. He represents the cycle of destruction and rebirth. He fulfills the role of an assassin character. And let's face it, he's kawaii as f***. They even have some legends in here. Guan Yu, if you're familiar with the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and even one of their newer additions, Arthur. You can wield Excalibur in the arena, throwing out combos left and right to keep your enemies tied down, stacking protective buffs, and building sword meter to drop a powerful execution slash on your enemy. I feel like there's something for everyone here. Gods representing darkness, love, time. Frost giants, the guardian of hell, even the keeper of the Air Jordans. John, there is a god of bees. Bees. Are you hearing me? Do you understand?
Oh, there's a god of bees in here.
There are currently 99 characters to pick from here. You get all that and whatever is still to come from the Founders Pass. And with Arthur added and Merlin still on his way, it looks like Hi-Rez isn't just adding to the already existing pantheons, but expanding the overall myths and legends to pull from. Who knows what might be next? Sounds like some pretty good value.
Alright, so that obviously gives me a lot to do and pick from, but what about the game modes exactly? I mean, this is also an online multiplayer game, so how does it play with matchmaking, and does it work well?
I've yet to have problems finding a match, and they even have a system in place where they kind of ease you into it without just throwing you into the ring. MOBA games, and even competitive games in general, tend to have a learning curve. How the developer handles the eventual interaction between players tends to correspond with how long those players plan on remaining. Queuing up a game only to get stomped by someone who has hundreds, if not thousands of hours over you in experience is never a fun situation. To this effect, Hi-Rez has several AI modes in place, with the game mechanics and the sheer quantity of heroes and items, all of which you're going to want to know pretty thoroughly. These AI matches are a great way to come to an understanding for some of the heroes you might be interested in. And even beyond that, the more advanced modes tend to be locked behind a player level cap. This way, a new player doesn't accidentally find themselves queuing for a more advanced map or mode, eventually leading to a bad user experience. Instead, you're shown something a little simpler. With experience comes new possibility, but where to begin is made very clear. Take some rounds against some AI, get used to the mechanics, adjust your controls. When you're ready to hop into the PvP, the queue flies by. Thank you, crossplay. With it enabled, I'm able to access the Xbox community as well as the PC and Mac community. And once you're ready to find a match, you have some options. At level 1, you're given access to Conquest, Joust, and Arena. You'll be placed on a team and put against an enemy force. Depending on what you pick can change the goals or even the map. Arena, for instance, is a 5-on-5 match involving tickets. Both teams start with 500 and the goal is to reduce that to 0. You take enemy tickets by killing heroes, killing enemy units, or getting your units to the enemy base. Compare that to Joust, a 3-on-3 where your team has to push through some towers to an enemy base and kill their Titan, a creature that fights alongside its allies. At account level 15, you'll unlock Clash, Assault, Siege, even a match of the day type mechanic. Now, all of these take the team versus team, you have to destroy the enemy base before they destroy yours approach in slightly different manners. They'll adjust the team size, the way the map works. The overall map itself changes drastically as well. Enemy pathing, line of sight, whether or not neutral creeps are there, and where would they be located. Other MOBAs tend to stick to one map to try to give the player the ability to master it over an extended period of time. But Smite gives you variation in hopes that it'll maintain your interest. Do you see now why it's a good thing that they don't just throw you into the deep end? And maybe once in a while you want to touch on something a little more co-op, a little more player versus environment. There are rotating adventure maps in this game that are linked to cosmetic items that you can unlock. Those can be used in the player versus player mode to show off how good you are at these outside adventure modes. It's a great way to split it up and approach the game in different fashions depending on what you're feeling like playing at that moment. And speaking of skins, cosmetics, vanity items, and the like, as Smite is a free-to-play game, those tend to be the focus of income. Now, not all cosmetic items are meant to be purchased through the real cash currency. A lot of them are tied to how well you do in a season, or even difficult achievements. They give you ways to show off the breadth of your skill rather than the depth of your pockets. But as most free-to-players know, if you like the game and you like what the developers are doing with it, it is worth it to throw a few bucks their way. You'll even be able to link your console accounts to a centralized Hi-Rez account. That way, any of the unlockables you earn, any of the ocean of cosmetics you purchase, it'll be accessible across the board. Well, hopefully all of this information that I gleaned got a few of you competitive-minded individuals out there interested in checking out Smite on the Nintendo Switch. It's been a fun experience for me as far as MOBAs go, and the benefit of it being free to play should easily provide you the excuse to check it out. And if it's something you're into, don't forget to look into the Founder's Pass. Normally, most of the characters you can choose from are locked, and they have a free rotation that changes, but the freedom to select who you want, when you want, in a game with this many characters cannot be understated.
Actually sounds like a lot. You know, I've never been into the MOBA games, but maybe I'll take a shot at it. I'm sure Evan's probably still playing Smite right this second, so I'll let him go back to doing that. But the fact that it has crossplay right away is really cool to see, and just all the extra content and everything packed in sounds like something, if you're into the MOBA games, that you would spend a lot of time with. Once again, thanks to Hi-Rez for sponsoring this video, and let me know if you guys have played Smite before it's come to the Switch, because it seems like a pretty cool thing to have as a handheld game, and then of course as a docked game on your TV. But if you've played it before, let me know if you're also getting it on the Switch, or if you have any other questions, leave them down in the comments, and I'm sure Evan can check them out and answer some of them as he goes along. Thanks guys for watching. Make sure you like the video if you like it, and I'll see you next time.